Okay, so in this video, we have Tosin here, and he recently just got an offer letter. And Tosin, I want you to come off mute. Well, you're already off mute. I want you to come and uh, first say what was the offer in terms of how much, if it's hybrid, if it's remote, and then just a quick intro about where you were and where you are now.
Yeah, oh, thanks, Tyre. So, yeah, I just got an offer as a cloud migration engineer, and it's about $60 an hour. Uh, yeah, prior to that, I work hybrid schedule. I drive about an hour to work, which is a little bit hectic for me. So, this current position is full-time remote for me. So, you know, yeah,
Wow.
I just can't complain of the fact that I'm going to stop driving every day and just be able to work in the comfort of my home. I
Wow.
see, make, quite significant amount of money more than what I was making before. So,
Wow.
uh, yeah,
Okay, so before you were driving an hour to work, and I'm pretty sure there was traffic, there was frustration there too as well. I used to do the same thing. But now you're able to work remote, and then actually make some more money, correct?
very correct.
Okay. And then what were you afraid would happen if nothing changed? Like, let's just say you were, still driving, the pay, I'm pretty sure it was decent, but that, long commute, was probably taxing. What were you afraid of if nothing changed for you?
I mean, I think stagnation. I think it's one thing that Uh, I really fear for. So I think, just the numerous opportunity that I think that this current, skills that I have brings forth. I just don't think there's any reason for me to. Uh, I just think this is the best opportunity. This is the best move I've made in, a very long time.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, even prior to this role, I've interviewed at top companies. I've interviewed for a 250K job that I don't think I would have interviewed for in the last, like 6 months ago.
Wow.
So being able to interview for like 250K, 180K jobs, so it gives me a lot of confidence going forward.
Okay, okay. And what made you like say yes? What made you, because it's a risk, right? You could have invested into the program and it didn't work, but what made you say yes in terms of this is what I'm going to do? I know this is for me and I'm going to take action.
Yeah, I mean, for first is there's a personal conviction from my own end that I wanted to do this.
Mm,
But I also think like, you were able to kind of like show me results in the past. And I think, that's one of the best ways to kind of like, convince someone. And I think, I work best with a structure, right? I could take you could do a lot of courses, a lot of stuff. But I think, having a structure, I think it just helps you. And that's the way I operate. I operate in a well-defined structure. And I think that's why I think, I'm achieving some level of success.
okay, okay. And what was different between like other courses and then this program? So I like to call it a program because it's not just a course with videos. Right? We have, like you said, we have that structure, we have that step-by-step blueprint to be able to get results. And so for you specifically, what did you feel like that was different from other courses or programs and then the 1% Cloud Engineer program?
Um, yeah, I mean, again, I think the breadth of the skill sets is huge. Uh, the projects were hands-on. You could talk about them in real-time interviews.
I'm sorry, it's a little
And
bit, it's a little bit muffled. I don't know if you
is it,
can.
is it better now?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and repeat.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the breadth of the skill set so that, I was able to kind of like pick on during the course, or during the program. I think it's extensive enough to land you a job. The projects as well, I think, they're very, uh, they're real-world projects,
Yep. Yep.
for your interviews. Or you can even kind of like, enhance them. Maybe you want to, like, for instance, for me, some of my projects, I twisted them around, you know, just kind of like enhance my learning. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I think that's one thing I'll take from problem.
Okay. Okay. So the real world projects and then being able to add on or twist the projects that you actually gain from the program into your own, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then, what specifically did this program give you that you could not get on your own?
The community. Yeah,
Mm,
I
wow.
don't have to think. I'm not thinking about that. I think the community. Um, I have a few guys that will share me. Uh, they'll share like open roles for me.
Mm,
I mean, and I'll just apply. I got a call back from one of those roles.
mm,
I think that was huge. I mean, I didn't get that role. I didn't follow up with that role because I'm not a citizen. I think it requires some clearance. I don't have that. So, but that community, I think it's huge. I reached out to a few people as an interview partner. That were, we conducted like mock interviews with them ourselves, and I would interview them. They would interview me. I did that like for about 2 weeks. Anywhere, but I was, so the community is huge for me. I really like the community. Yeah.
wow. How did you feel about Felipe, the teacher?
How did I work?
How did you feel about Felipe, the teacher who's teaching the live boot camps?
Yeah. I think I like his patience. Yeah, I like his patience. I think his patience and his teaching. And I think due to the plethora of or the diverse nature of people in the boot camp or in the program, I think patience is really required.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And so what is different about your life now? You can be specific, you can talk about the money, the job, the confidence, the time, the location freedom, stress. It could be anything.
In all honesty, I think it's what's to come.
Yeah.
I make some money. I make more money based on this role compared to what I was making before. But
Okay.
I think the allure or the prospect of what is to come is what is making me, so happy.
What,
And if
what
I
was
could do the
what
it's
did
a,
you say? Kind of muffled. What was the thing?
yeah, so the allure of, or the allure, I don't know, or the prospect of what's to come.
Mm,
Like the fact that I know that sooner or later I'm going to be making X amount of money, and the prospect, I just think it just makes me, I just smile. Sometimes I'm just driving, and I'm just smiling that, yeah, it's about time. You know what I'm saying? So,
mm. Wow.
uh, yeah,
Wow.
I think that's the biggest thing for me. I mean, clearly, definitely, I'm making more money, but like I said, I don't think what I'm making compared to what I'm making now. I don't think there's a big shift, but like the prospect of like landing my very first cloud role and knowing that many more is going to come. I get
Mhm.
interviewed every single day because I've positioned. I mean, I guess recruiters reach. I have recruiters reach out to me almost every day
Mhm.
because I've positioned myself well for them to reach out to me,
Mhm.
and so I'm very confident on that.
And then do you feel like if somebody is serious, they can go through this program? And I mean, like the same way we had a conversation before you joined, and I told you specifically, like, you know, the blueprint works. I just need to make sure that whoever's coming in, they're willing to commit. And you were. And so, do you feel like anybody who's watching this video, if they're like, hey, I'm interested, I'm com not just interested because that's different, but I'm committed. I know I would be able to put in the work into the blueprint. Do you feel like they'll be able to get the skill set? It's very important that I'm saying skill set, right? Because you said you have recruiters reaching out to you almost every day, correct?
Correct.
And that's a skill set you were able to acquire within the program in terms of knowing how to position yourself, correct?
Yeah, that's
And then
correct.
and then also you have the skill set to be able to go in interviews and position yourself as, one of the top candidates on any job interview, correct?
That's very correct.
And you have that confidence, right?
That's correct.
And so, I want to be very specific and transparent. There's a distinction between job and a skill set. There's a lot of people that get a cloud engineer job and they lose the job and then they come to me because they can't find a job, right? But do you feel like if you, God forbid, let's say you lost a job, do you confidently feel like you can go out there and get another job if you wanted to?
100%. 100%. Uh, I'm not planning to lose this job. So I just actually like I just think like my learning is about to kickstart. So I think I've not learned enough. So it's That's the way I see it.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
that's the way I say it.
And once again, do you feel like if somebody is like, I want this result for myself, I want this skill set, I am willing to commit, I'm willing to overcome, you know, different problems that may occur. I'm willing to, step up to the challenge and commit. Do you feel like they'll be able to get the skill set that you've obtained through the
I
1%
mean,
University, through this program?
yeah, I mean, just in all honesty, everything requires hard work. If you're one person that values hard work and you know what you want, I can be very tunnel vision on my goals, and I think that's one of the things I did when I started this program. Uh, I I did say I was going to get a job in 2 months. I almost got a job in 2 months. I didn't. Uh, but I think I got a job roughly maybe 3 plus months or thereabouts. But prior to that, like I said, I've interviewed at big companies. So I don't even want to mention names.
Wow.
250K, 220K, 180K salaries.
Wow.
Things that I would never have imagined I would
Wow.
be doing 6 months ago.
Mm,
So, like I said, that's what gives me the confidence. But again, for me to speak this way, and me being very assertive, sorry, uh, it's because I paid my dues. I'm just gonna be honest about it.
yeah.
Nothing comes easy.
Yeah.
I paid my dues, and there are a few folks in the program that will work together. Go ask them, they will tell you, yeah, David paid his dues. I did.
Wow.
So if anybody's able to do that, yeah, I don't think it's gonna come easy. Like, not nobody's gonna throw you 120, 130K like that.
There's a reason why
But,
they're paying you that much.
but,
And
but yeah, if you can put in the work and the effort, yeah.
do you regret the investment that you made for yourself, the risk that you bet on yourself?
Man, no, obviously no.
Was there, but let's talk about it because there's a lot of people that I talk to and there's fear, right? And that's normal with any investment because there's the fear of the unknown. What if it doesn't work, right? But did you feel like, even a little bit, did you feel like a sense of fear? Like, okay, what if this doesn't work before you actually pulled the trigger?
So I mean, I want to be conscious of, like, anyone that might be listening to this later on.
Hmm.
There is no investment that does not have its ups and downs. But for me, when I decided to go into this, there was no other way than for me to win. I had no option. Um, but that was me. You know what I'm saying? And I think we have different situations where we have different, motives in life. We know what is pushing us.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, yeah. So again, I'm not saying there was no chance for me to fail at it, but there was also no chance for me to fail. I don't know if that makes sense.
It's
You know.
it makes perfect sense, and I want to touch on this. I'm very, very transparent when it comes to anything that I say online. You know, so first off, anybody who's interested in joining the program, there's going to be a link in the description below to apply. We don't accept everybody. We accept people who are committed and serious. So go ahead and click the first link in the description below to apply to apply for the program. Now, I want to go ahead and say this. This is not something where you can put, you know, you have to give it your all. You can't put one foot in, one foot out. People that have the mindset, this has to work or it has to work. I've never seen this is just what I've seen. I have never seen somebody with that mindset that has failed. I have never seen somebody that has the mindset, there is a problem, I'm going to overcome that problem. That's the type of mindset that they have because they have to. Now, for somebody who's interested, who's like looking and curious, I will say, this program is not for you. This program is not for everybody. This is not a get rich quick scheme, right? Even though, right, Tosin was able to, get the offer letter fairly quickly, like 3 plus months, right? I mean, other programs is like 7, 8, 9, even a year. There's nothing wrong with that. But the reason why he was able to get it so, fairly quickly was because it had to work out, right? He put in time, energy, commitment, hard work. Those are the elements that's needed alongside with the step-by-step blueprint that we provide to equal results, right? There's a bunch of testimonials on my Instagram. If you go to my Instagram highlights, you'll see a bunch of different testimonials, but every single one of those guys, now Tosin, he was able to, have those different character traits alongside with the blueprint to be successful. And so if that's you, hard work, willing to overcome challenges, who's really willing to commit, right? And you're looking for a blueprint, you're looking for guidance step by step, go ahead and click the first link in the description below and go ahead and apply. And me and my team will reach out to you to get started today. And now, Tosin, I want you to please um, um, try to be devil's advocate on anything that I just said. But is there anything false with what I just said in terms of the character alongside with the blueprint to get the results? Is there anything that you want to, push holes, or do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, not so much. I think people need to be patient with themselves, to be honest. I think the 3 months ban that I gave myself, I don't want to say I'm peculiar, but at the same time, it's feasible. I mean, if I can do it, I don't have two heads. But you know, uh, everybody has different. Everybody's gonna work at different pace. You know what I'm saying? Like some people have multiple keys. They might not be able to commit as much as I'm able to commit, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? As long as you have the goal in mind, that's fine. So that's gonna be the only thing, but it's doable. That's what I'm gonna say. Doable.
Okay. And if someone is watching this and is where you were, what would you tell them?
If they are convinced that they're willing to put in the hard work, then go for it.
Okay. And it doesn't have to be this program. You can be another program, right? There's YouTube University. I'm very transparent, right? But, you know, the whole reason why we have even this video is because there's countless of other videos that even Tosin has seen, and he said, okay, this works, right? It inspired him. It made him believe that this is possible, and he joined. Now look at him now. He is successful. He's gotten an offer letter. It's remote. It's for 100 and I think $24,000 a year. And right, he's now on a testimonial video that might inspire the next student, right? And so the whole purpose of this platform is just to show people what is possible in the realm of cloud engineering. And it's my job just to shed light. Hey, this is here. This is possible. It's changed my life, right? It's changed Tosin's life, right? I highly recommend, if you're curious or interested, definitely look into cloud engineering because it definitely changed my life, right? It doesn't have to be with my program. It could be somebody else's. If you want to go with my program, the link is in the description below. And the last question I want to ask you, Tosin, is what is a 1% gem that you want to give to somebody listening to this right now? Now, a 1% gem is just like a tangible advice that they can use to get closer to their financial goal. So what's the 1% gem that you would give to anybody listening to this right now?
Yeah, I don't know if this is a gem, but like I said, I think I've said this earlier. I really like this community. I don't think this community, it's not just something that you are only going to get a job from. But when you get a job, how do you build wealth? I haven't started yet, because you need to get a job before you kind of like commence that journey. But like I'm embarking on it right now. So I think the program gives you the avenue to collaborate, to talk, have a open session with Ty. I think it's very open to talk to people, and you can work as a team to kind of build one. So I'm just starting my journey, but I really like that. I think that's one thing I really encourage people to kind of take advantage of.
Okay, thank you so much. And I want to just touch on one last point. A lot of people in tech teach about how to get the bag, right? But how do you actually secure wealth, right? One of my mentors said, when I first made my first six figures, he said, okay, now you're making good money, but now it's time to secure your financial freedom. Right? I didn't buy my Porsche when I got my job. I didn't buy my house when I got my job. I was still living with my parents. I was blessed enough to still live with them, right? And I took 95% of my income and I invested it, right? To the point where I don't need to work, right? And so, my mentor told me, now that you got the bag, secure the bag, right? Secure your financial freedom. And a lot of people miss that point, which is extremely important because we're not here to work, 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 work and retire in our 60s. We're here to work, right? Put our time in, pay our dues, but actually get to the point where our money is making money for us to pay for our expenses and for us to actually truly enjoy what life has to offer. And so, once again, if you are interested in the program, go ahead and click the first link in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video.